Nuclear missile ready.
Hello everybody, welcome again to one more casting for Alpha X Apprentice Season number 2. Today we're gonna have our grand finals. It's gonna be Tokon versus Kingslayer, some Terran versus Protoss action. Those two players have gone through a lot in this tournament, that's for sure. Been playing very close series, especially Tokon. Been able to advance on top of Arafire with just a very close 3-2 victory. Being able to eliminate Exo Striker as well with a 3-2 victory in the round of 8. While Kingslayer, a little bit of a better smooth sailing, already beating Tokon in the group stages. So we already have some history between those two. I think it was a 3-2 victory for Kingslayer in the group stages. So we already have some little bit of a past between those two guys. Some maps that have already been played, some playstyles that have already been exploited, and something those two players can actually meta game out of each other. So we are just waiting a little bit for the guys to be ready. Tokon said he's ready for the games. Kingslayer just taking a little bit to warm up before getting into the game. I think he's available, and Tokon is in a game right now. Okay, they both finished. We're about to get into the game. Gonna do our well, actually we're already in our first map. They already did all it needed to be done before the game could start. And guys, it's been a very fun tournament. We're right at the end. We're gonna see who between those two guys will be crowned as the champion of Codes Grand Finals. First map gonna be World of Sleepers. And please load. Okay, it loaded. You ready? Let's get this started. First map for today. In the bottom left hand corner, as the red Terran player hailing from Poland is Tokon. On the top right side instead is the blue Protoss player, the Canadian beast Kingslayer. Player mostly observes his PvZ is quite uncontested, one of the best PvZ players we have outside of our dragons in the team, that's for sure. Very good in the matchup. Not as good in this matchup, neither is Tokon. Both players really rely on their winning horses for this matchup. Not a ton of different build orders. I mean, this is a pretty restrictive matchup. Like, you can actually do stuff a little bit differently for like the first 5 minutes. Then you kinda have to go with the standard RoboPay for the Protoss player, Ghost and Liberators for the Terran. So we're probably gonna see some of those. But I'm more interested in the action, in the harassment of the first minutes of the games we're gonna see, especially since both players rely a lot on macro. So when they're actually going to surprise each other with some early game pressure, some proxies and stuff such as that, you're gonna be able to see some very interesting games, because they will mix it up. It's a best of 7 series, lots of room for error, lots of room for getting a quick victory, sneaking in with some cheesy builds. And what is Tokon doing? He's scouting for some proxies. Will not find one. The SCV, of course, not gonna be there. for scouting. The Reaper is already out, ready to gain some more valuable informations and maybe get a kill on some probe or something. Twilight Council opener for Kingslayer, complete standard opener. The Adept there to catch the Reaper moving out. He's gonna try to shade behind it. Some little bit of disruption with the mine for the Reaper of Tokon. Also full scouting information. It's gonna see one more gateway being dropped. The Twilight Council. And also the Reaper is eventually going to escape with his life. Yeah, he is starting to regenerate. The Adept is still trying to chase it. One more grenade probably going to be used into those mineral lines to disrupt a little bit the economy. Well, not at all, actually. The Reaper will get away and stay alive for further scouting. The other side of the map, it looks like we have an alien drop from the Polish player already proxying the starport on the top side of the map. He's gonna bring his aliens over here, make a medivac, and try to surprise his opponent with a quick drop into the main of the blue Protoss. Meanwhile, the Reaper still out there to gain more vision, more scouting. Kingslayer is gonna hallucinate a Phoenix to get more scouting of his own. He's not gonna find a starport though. That could make him suspicious about it. The factory will get scouted, not will be the aliens. Tokon able to sneak through the aliens, but this doesn't mean that Kingslayer doesn't know what's coming at him. He has some stalkers at the ready, not really covering this side of the map. Hallucinated Phoenix is gonna die right now. The medivac is halfway through, and everything is ready for the drop for Tokon, who's meanwhile going for his triple racks NG Bay into probably a third base of his own after his harassment is done. Kingslayer getting already his third Nexus, but that's where the action is. Already an alien drop. First game, Tokon's looking to get some damage. Kingslayer well prepared with his units in the right spot to counter this, and not really being too much surprised about what was coming at him. Tokon still gonna try to get some damage, but Kingslayer once again very much prepared. Immediate pick up by Tokon, who's heading for the main. He's gonna drop some aliens, try to get a kill or two, will lose one alien, and then get away without a single probe dying. Perfect defense by Kingslayer, who's safely getting his third base, his charge, and getting a composition he will feel probably a little bit more safe with charge lots being accompanied by stalkers. This could also be, I don't see a second robo, I don't see a double forge. Yes, this is definitely a Swarm Toss build. Not gonna see much robotics bay units. Kingslayer is gonna rely mostly, well, you're gonna see some disruptors and stuff such as that, but he's gonna rely mostly on building up a huge supply of stalkers and charge lots to help with these key units. Gonna kill all the aliens remaining, not real much use for them. For Tokon, who's actually preparing with something else behind this. We're gonna see a Banshee over here being proxied. Kingslayer will find out what is going on. We'll see the Banshee, we'll see Cloak being researched, and Tokon will face some real big danger with this Banshee. Oh my god, Kingslayer dropping 7 gateways at once to a total of 9. Gonna get to 10 very soon. This Banshee will not do much. The Observer is there. Tokon knows. Look, will not doing any good. Blink forward by Kingslayer with his blink just finishing. Kill on the Banshee. Kingslayer didn't lose anything this game. 1 sentry, 1 probe. That's all he lost. Tokon not really getting in a comfortable spot with this offense, so he needs to find some damage. 2 tank siege outside of the third base location of Kingslayer, but the Protoss player once again very prepared. Blinks on top of the tank, the Zealots tanking for all the damage, and Kingslayer doesn't lose too much. Once again, those Zealots are gonna chase down the last few remaining bio units sent by Tokon, and Kingslayer suddenly has a worker advantage as a big... Oh, this Banshee is doing some work. The Observer is very much out of position. Banshee is still getting kills. The Observer will return here, and now suddenly the Banshee is in a little bit of troubles. Togon will let it die without too much attention. 6 probes have gone down. These Banshees have done what they could do. And Togon has to prepare for a follow-up. He's not even expanding. Well, he has an expansion, mostly for SCVs right now. He's gonna try to get this base and get to a comfortable spot in the game. But right now, he's trying to focus more on production, trying to build up an army. Army supply still very much behind, but Kingslayer playing the Swarm Toss style, adding a robotics bay and facility. Soon after, next to this fur base location, after being dropped this 4th. And right now, Kingslayer looking extremely good in this stage of the game with these double upgrades that will soon kick in and start getting an advantage over his opponent. Togon will have to find some damage, will have to cancel some upgrades, some key stuff for his opponent before he can get too much in a comfortable spot. The style of Kingslayer, of course, relies on expanding very aggressively, getting a huge supply of gateway units, and then getting a couple robotics facility key units like Colossi or Disruptors, most likely the latter, to try and get those juicy Disruption Novas on top of the Bio Army. Liberators already on the way for Togon, who's gonna lose this Medivac for free. Once again, Kingslayer incredibly well prepared. No Vikings are out yet. Kingslayer is looking to force a couple out, not only to counter his War Prism, but also to counter his Colossi, 2 being produced at a time. Togon, meanwhile, has some army of his own going on. 2 tanks, 2 siege, 2 Liberators, 4 Widow Mines. But still, Kingslayer is building up to the point on which he will be pretty much unstoppable. It looks like this is a double dose account. Okay, it's just 1. I was thinking about nukes, but Togon doesn't really look like the guy who likes to go for nukes. So he's gonna cancel one of his extra Ghost Academies. Meanwhile, extended thermal lance on the way. 2 more Colossi for Kingslayer, who's almost maxed out. 80 workers for the Blue Protoss player, and a healthy supply of Stalkers to defend his key units. Is looking ready to deal game-ending damage to his opponent. This base will not go up. Togon able to get a cancel on the 5th base of Kingslayer, who was looking to expand even more aggressively. He still has this base and this one to take. This one is not a very convenient one because there is only 1 gas. Still, this Liberator will not do much at all. Togon still losing pretty much a lot of units without getting too much damage. Over here, after the cancel, Kingslayer will try to expand once again. And the distance between this base and this one is actually not that big. Kingslayer is looking to aggressively get into the side of the map of his opponent. 5 more gateways being added. And these are a lot of Stalkers. A lot of blink action can happen with Colossi helping with dealing with the more heavy ranged units. Of course, there are Ghosts out. EMP Shockwave upgrade is on the way, but upgrades right now are slightly in favor of the Protoss player, who's looking to get on top of this one ram over here, blinking forward on top of the Liberators. Kingslayer is gonna lose a bunch of his own units, but he's gonna replace them very shortly after, with the Warp Prism still being able to micro them out. EMP goes on top of all of the Stalkers, but the Army of Togon is going down very quickly. Colossi are still up, not going down, no Viking inside, just this one that will go down. The Army of Togon is no more. Kingslayer is looking ready to get an advantage in his best of 7 series grand finals. The Blue Protoss not breaking a sweat this game, not losing much, and gaining a huge advantage for the duration of the game. Kingslayer gets 1 point in the best of 7 series. And as much as I like the aggression that was going on for Togon, I don't really think that it paid off in the end. Overall, Kingslayer looking very, very dominant and quite able to deflect everything that was coming in before preparing for a big push that eventually got the better of the Polish Terran. And we're switching to the other server. We're going to EU, the good server, to see what's gonna be the second map, the choice of Tokon for this second map. And I'm waiting for the guys to invite me into their game, if they can be so gentle. So, game's volume was a little bit too high. So we're getting into the second map. Trident is gonna be its name. Kingslayer playing on the barcode. Oh, shame. But we're ready to see some Trident action. One of the favorite maps of Tokon, actually. As you know, pretty good Terra map. Pretty good spots to get some sieges going. And overall, I'd say that aggression is very well recompensated on Trident. If you can get into an aggressive spot in this map as the Terran player, you can get into a very comfortable spot in the way that you can expand pretty much freely. But we're gonna go into it in a bit, because first of all, let's see here in the top left hand corner, it's the red Terran player. He is Tokon. Hitting from Canada instead is in the bottom right hand corner of Trident, as the blue Protoss is Kingslayer. Really looking to wall off the Reaper Cliff. Gonna be adding a Cybernetic core over here as well shortly after. Tokon doesn't look keen about proxying yet, it seems. Not even Kingslayer looks like he's gonna do it. Even though this map, Trident, can be a very good spot to proxy. Over here for Protoss. And over here for Terran. It's a bit far even over here, to be honest. But overall, I'd say we're gonna be waiting a bit before those kind of builds get thrown out into the mix by those two guys. Cybernetic score is gonna be added by Kingslayer before the Nexus, actually. A little bit of a more conservative choice. Also to get the Adept out as quick as possible. To face the Reaper, of course, already coming for Tokon. Huge map, not gonna be a big deal. And also Kingslayer kinda scouting out for a proxy, kinda looking for something amiss. Gonna go for a scout in the base of his opponent, doesn't want to lose his probe. I still want to make sure that nothing too cheeky is coming from the red Terran player, who's gonna get some scouting of his own to get the same confirmation. Adept is out, damage will not be dealt, but still Trident is not the easiest map to scout in with the Reaper. Tokon still looks like he's gonna be able to get a full scout of the base of his opponent, trying to stick around to check what's gonna be the first tech building to be dropped by the blue Protoss player. He needs this Reaper to stay alive to see what's gonna happen in this base. Kingslayer carefully not putting down any tech yet. He's gonna kill the Reaper first. And now we're gonna see probably the follow-up of the Protoss player. And meanwhile, behind this Tokon, making Widowmines, making his starport. This could be Widowmine drop, or it could be very much just some Widowmines for defense. It is a Twilight console, it doesn't need them back home. There is not gonna be an Oracle flying into his base. So Tokon can just try to go for some aggression of his own this game as well. And let's see if Kingslayer is gonna be able once again to deflect it in such a good way, like he showed us in game number 1. Toilet Council and Robo will not be scouted by the scan of Tokon, who's still in the blind about the build of his own opponent. He needs to make something happen, he needs to send something through the map to gain some vision, some confirmation about his faults. And probably he's gonna try to do it. One Widow Mine? No, he's just gonna take control of the Watchtower. Oh. Widow Mine on the ramp as well to keep any Stalker at bay, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be Stalkers. Kingslayer wants his Charge Lots, Immortals, Archons, Army out as soon as possible. Going for the absolute standard charge as his first upgrade, going to 4 gateways as well. Meanwhile, Tokon, very conservative choice once again, getting a Raven for defense. A tank is already out as well, and now those Rex will be attached to this tech club to start researching the key upgrades for the bio army Tokon is preparing to build. Last one, infantry weapons on the way as well, and 5 more gateways are gonna be added by Kingslayer. The usual explosion of gateways after the third base has been already established. 3 workers here already, more are soon to come. And Kingslayer will start making some units to face any possible 2-base push that is coming from Tokon, and will shortly come for sure. Second Immortal also already done. Here it is, coming outside of this base in full style. And Tokon not really gaining on the aggression, not really gaining any scouting information. Actually, he saw the Robo, but he doesn't know much more. He's expecting Kingslayer to go for something very aggressive after seeing that Robo. But it looks like Kingslayer is not yet going for it, because he's actually trying to get to another army composition than the one that Tokon expects. He's expecting probably another style of Swarm Toss, maybe some kind of harassment with the Warp Prism early, with the 4 gateways, actually 3 with the Adepts maybe. But that's not what's coming. Kingslayer decided instead to gain the tech to get his key units out. 2 Immortals already out, the third one will join soon, and Tokon sees the first Immortal, knows it's not a Warp Prism push, and will try to go for something of his own. 2 Medivacs in production, he's gonna be trying to move out, he's trying to get his army in one point, unsieging the tanks, bringing them through the map, and bringing everything he has to try and get some damage. 3 tanks are out, Trident, very good tank map. These are a lot of Zealots though, charge is already done. Kingslayer has some vision through the map, units patrolling, observers at every corner. And right now, this observer is gonna scout every unit from the blue or the red Terran moving out. Kingslayer is gonna have his units well prepared for the push of Tokon, well hidden. Tokon is not gonna walk on top of this ramp without any thoughts. Finally, Kingslayer moves his army and tries to get the jump on the opponent's army. Anti-armor missile gets a bunch of these Zealots, but they're just charging and charging and charging, and there are not enough Medivacs to save all of these units. Meanwhile, behind is a Viking gaining some damage on top of the probes of Kingslayer after being surely defeated by those Zealots. But these are so many Zealots walking through the map. This looks like a Zealot all-in, but it just isn't. Kingslayer macroed it out. He has a ton of gas. He wanted his tech, but he just defeated the whole army of his opponent, and just now sending a bunch of Zealots through the map. The tank is down. 20 SCVs are down as well, and another round of Zealots is soon to be warped in by the Blue Protoss player. Tokon is not gonna be looking good in game number 3, because the second map will go to Kingslayer just in a moment. Immortals being dropped on top of the tank to get one more kill. Now the SCVs are again in danger against 2 very bulky Immortals. Another warping of 8 Zealots, and the Raven cannot do anything. Zealots are everywhere. The natural is gone. Tokon GG's out, and Kingslayer is 2 points ahead in these grand finals. What do you say about it? Kingslayer. Mixing it up. Oh, that's a good idea. Two very, very different builds. Two very strong options that Kingslayer has put up against Tokon. Is coming into this series very well prepared. He found out there was an opportunity. There was a hole in the defenses of Tokon and exploded it in the best way possible. Just a bunch of zealots and 2 immortals killing everything in the main base of the red Terran player. Well, let's see if Tokon is able to shake off the pressure after losing those first 2 games, or if he will instead crumble even more to one very good player, the Protoss, the Canadian Protoss, showing us some of his best StarCraft action, while Tokon not really looking in the best he could possibly look. Still very much into this series, but it doesn't look like one of his best days. Of course, best of 7, very much for gaming. And no, this is not the bracket. The bracket, can someone link the Liquipedia bracket, please? This one is from another tournament. The command is not updated. And yes, this is live, by the way. As you can see, like the guys are preparing the lobbies, so it is live. Anyway, we're ready for one more game. Map number 3. It's gonna be Zen, chosen by Tokon. So I ain't saying. So actually, we talked about it a little bit ago while we were casting Blazing Series, and Tokon is one of the few players who actually like Zen, and overall I'd say is one of the least favorite maps for any Protoss player, because this is such a bad Protoss map. Like few ramps all on the sides, walking through the center very hard for such a slow army as the Protoss one. Meanwhile, for Terran, there are a lot of spots in which you can get an easy foothold. It's pretty easy to expand as well. I wouldn't be surprised by Kingslayer showing us a proxy in the bottom left hand corner. It's the red Terran player. It is Tokon. Top right hand corner instead, we have the blue Protoss player, 2 points ahead in this best of 7 series, looking extremely convincing. He is Kingslayer. Oh, I really like this portrait. That's like an evil Rainer or something. I'm not even sure. Anyway, once again, can someone please link the real bracket, the Liquipedia one, in the chat? It's of course gonna be Liquipedia Alpha X Apprentice Season number 2. Will be much appreciated. Is Kingslayer going to scout with his probe, or is he going to proxy? Because this looks like a very cheeky probe. Doesn't really look like it's going for a scout. It's going to a very, very precise place. And that's what this map is a mess for. This location over here is extremely good for any kind of proxy. And it looks like Kingslayer wants to place a pylon over here. Will Tokon be able to scout this in time? Oh my god, it isn't even going for a Reaper. He just straight up went into reactor for the barracks. Now gonna drop a factory as well after dropping his command center on the low ground, and this was probably the worst possible game for him to not get a Reaper in. Kingslayer. I have a pylon right here. It's gonna probably add either a Stargate or a Robo and maybe try to lift units into this. Still making a Nexus back home, so it's still not 100% committed into this. It's gonna be a Stargate. So yes, it's the less committed version of this kind of harassment. Not gonna place shield batteries either, it's just gonna try to kill SCVs with oracles probably. And meanwhile, it's just gonna expand back home. Of course, dropping such an important piece of tech at a millimeter from your opponent's base, still very much a dangerous game to play. But it looks like this time luck played in in his favor, because Togon is doing exactly the worst possible thing he could ever do against this. He's probably gonna be adding a Cyclone soon. He has his Tech Lab. Unless he's going for a 2-base all-in with tanks and marines. That could be very bad, but he's making a Cyclone, I think, and that's gonna be good against the Oracle. And please make a Cyclone, and it's gonna be a tank, and that's gonna be incredibly bad against what's coming at him. The first Oracle is halfway through, and there is nothing aside a couple marines in the natural. The main is completely exposed. This Oracle is gonna be in the base of Tokon in a second. Actually, Kingslayer is gonna be having a second one at the ready. Still Tokon, no real intention of getting any defensive options right here. He wants to go for a drop, probably a Doom drop, as soon as possible. Thank you very much for linking in bracket, by the way. And meanwhile, Kingslayer safely getting his economy up. Doesn't really have a lot of units back home, but he has a lot just outside the base of Kingslayer. Also gonna add a pylon over there to be able to warp in some units in an aggressive way. The 3 attacks will go down without getting a lot of damage. But was it a distraction? I think it was. Those 2 oracles will go back home. They will try to keep the marine push with the tank at bay. Togon is looking to place some bunkers in the natural of Kingslayer. Of course, weird map to do this in, since there is a pylon over here, so you cannot really walk through here unless those 2 SCVs will also mine through here with the tank already sieged. Okay, there is one bunker placed on the low ground. The tank is sieged. The Maniac will grant high ground vision. The pylon will go down. Kingslayer only making adepts to reinforce this position. He has 3 oracles out. Oracles will deal with the army of Tokon, but at what cost? Adepts are gonna be shedding in. Pulsar Beam gets used. They get on top of the tank will go down. Medivac will try to lift those units back into the main to try and deal with the Oracle. Pulsar Beam energy still there. The bunker get cancelled, but Tokon is still very much committed. He's trying to make a waste of the energy of those Oracles, but they will survive. They will kill all the Marines, and the Stalkers will finish off the Medivac. Kingslayer looking once again eager to get on the aggression. Those adepts can get on top of the tank. They will not shade on top of it. The Oracle will join the fight shortly after, and they still have a lot of energy left. The Viking will be out. Those Oracles will not get too much damage. They will kill some of the key units. They will kill the Marines. They will kill 1 tank, but Stalkers cannot fire 2 Vikings, a Cyclone and 1 tank. Kingslayer has to go back home. Not the best decision to commit all of his oracles into it, but Tokon has yet to find his proxy. He could still be looking for some damage. The missile turret is there, but Kingslayer has options. Robo Bay, Forge, Twilight Console being dropped, and a Fur Base already on the way for the Protoss player. Tokon sharking for damage with his Vikings, also trying to look for the Stargate that was proxied on the map, and he didn't have any clue about. Kingslayer was good on the defense, wasn't really good on the offense, but there is still a lot of time for him to recover. Being behind in workers for a Protoss player at this stage of the game is extremely bad. That's probably the worst thing going on for Kingslayer at the moment. But there's not much that can go wrong from now on. Really, Tokon cannot really push into his base right now. He still has to wait for his key units to be out. He still has to wait for a lot of stuff. Those Vikings will one-shot the probes. Quick reactions by Kingslayer. Tokon will still commit with his Vikings. Actually not. Will get back away after killing 2 probes, denying some mining time, and the probes can get back into the main base safely. Already being distributed between the gases and the minerals. 3 probes gone down. The Cyclone is also trying to get some damage. Even getting some scouting will be important right now. Kingslayer doesn't have Blink. I think, yeah, it doesn't. He's already getting a charge. Once again, he wants to rely mostly on Zealots. 1 warping of Zealots back home will deal with the Vikings from dealing any more damage. This Viking will barely survive to just 1 Stalker. Kingslayer looking to find some proactive action. Warp Prism being dropped by the Protoss player. The Viking is finally down, but Tokon wants to move out faster than his opponent. That's a sizable Terran army. There is one tank out. Charge is done for Kingslayer. So the Protoss has some options. Those two hallucinated phoenixes will get some scouting on top of the army of Tokon moving out. Scan forward for Tokon as well, who's trying to leapfrog his units to gain a little bit of a foothold. This pylon will go down and the bio units of Tokon will walk into the natural of Kingslayer. This is a dangerous game the Terran player is playing, but he will save almost all of his bio units inside those two medivacs and will back away after killing one pylon and getting a lot of damage on one forge and one Twilight Consular, and also depowering one of the forges actually by killing one pylon. The one pylon over here, of course. Tokon still looking for damage. The tank is still a very lonely tank, but Widowmines right now will get some very good shots at the Zealots. A lot of them will go down, the Widowmines will go down as well. But the army of Kingslayer is very boosted. A lot of Zealots get swapped in. Right now the tanks are trying to do their best. Bio kiting backwards to try and get the better of this army. The tank will go down, but more Bio join the fight. And Kingslayer supply is suddenly at a big disadvantage. There are no more Zealots to help with this. The pylon will not go down yet, but those Zealots will immediately, after this much Bio is taking shots at it. Kingslayer calls the GG and Tokon is back into this series. This time, the player that tried to go for the aggression was the Protoss one, and it really didn't pay off for him. It was overall good defense by Tokon by just being proactive on the offense. Like they say, the best defense is the offense. And in this case it proved to be extremely true, because just by threatening to move out with his units, he prevented actually Kingslayer from dealing any damage to his economy. The Adepts and the Free Oracles used afterwards were basically good to nothing. And Tokon was able to snowball with getting some key damage here and there, denying some stuff, delaying some other, and then having just the right composition, the right upgrades to face the Protoss player. Back into action. In the top left hand corner of Ephemeron, not chosen by Kingslayer by the way, is the red Terran player. Hailing from Poland, is Tokon. In the bottom right instead, he is blue, he is Protoss, he is Canadian, he is Kingslayer. And this could be finally the map where we see Tokon proxying. I mean, this was chosen by Kingslayer, so Kingslayer clearly has his plan on here. Because Ephemeron is not a very normal map to play in. I mean, this is truer for Zergs than it is for other races. But Ephemeron is not a very normal map. It has a lot of very weird stuff happening, like the bridges. The rocks over here blocking a very open path to your opponent's base. The fourth base being incredibly exposed. So very hard to take a fourth base. And this one is actually very good to take for Terrans. But overall, in the early game there are so many things that could go wrong. If you decide to commit into some kind of harassment and lose your stuff, you can die very easily. The economy as a cybernetics core placed before the Nexus for Kingslayer. He wants his Adept to go up a little bit quicker. He wants to drop his Solar Console or Stargate or Robo at 2.15 before making a second unit. Unless he wants to go for some scouting of his own with the sentry. But those are very minor things that change very little. Tokon once again not wanting to go for the Reaper. He's completely skipping on it. Just making double Marines. And I'm not sure. I think this game is not played with game art, by the way. Yeah, I'm fairly sure there is no game art. But I'm gonna be telling the guys later. Anyway, 2 more gateways being added by Kingslayer. What is this? 2 more gateways? Before dropping tech? Huh. I mean, sure. Okay. More Stalkers. So it's gonna be a Twilight Council, after all. Or is it going to be a proxy? Well, Kingslayer is scouting for proxies more than making one, to be honest. And Tokon is doing the same, really. This has to be over here. Starport is indeed the next choice of Tokon, with this tech club. Could be a Raven for defense, like it was in the previous game. Could also be some kind of Banshee style harassment, and it looks like it is Banshees indeed. They kinda played off in his favor in map number 1, World of Sleepers. But I know this could look a little bit weird, but Banshees can also be a massive drawback if they don't deal enough damage, because they delay your medivacs by so much time that any kind of push you have to face, those Marine stints are just forever. And well, Archon drop is the choice of Kingslayer. Actually, not even drop, he's just gonna make some Dark Templars here just outside the base of Tokon to try and deal some damage. Of course, not gonna commit super fully into it. He needs something back home to deal with the Banshee, and he has no Robo and no Stargate, so he has no way of actually scouting the Banshee with Cloak. That could potentially kill him. He knows there is a Banshee out right now. As soon as he sees the Banshee, he must drop down 1 Robo. I'm not too sure he saw it though. Second Banshee is coming, Cloak is still on the way, Dark Shrine is on the way for Kingslayer, but no Robo, no detection at all. No photon cannons, nothing. 1 Banshee can pretty much end the game if this proxy is able to go up alongside the Banshee, dealing damage or maybe just helping the main army of Tokon. This could get a very free victory for the Red Terran. Bunker get placed. Dark Templars are gonna be joining. There is a scan ready. Tokon very careful about what's going on. He's gonna be seeing the Dark Templars and he's gonna be trying to get a kill on top of it. Banshee will try to get some more kills. No more scans ready for Tokon, and no detection out for Kingslayer. 2 Banshees will get a ton of damage if left uncontested right now. Kingslayer not yet dropping a Robo. It's finally going to get one. Oh my god, he will not get one. Oh my god. Disaster. Disaster. This shield battery trying to do her best to keep those Banshees from going down. The Robo finally gets dropped here in the natural. Those Banshees could pretty much kill it, but they decided to kill every single probe instead. And this was the perfect game to have. The game art on. It looks like 20 probes have gone down to 2 Cloak Banshees. Kingslayer looking for some aggression on the other side of the map. There are 2 tanks out, so not a lot can happen really. The Raven is out, so those Dark Templars will not survive long enough. The tank is under attack by this one Zealot. SCVs need to be pulled to kill the Zealots, but on the other side of the map, the Banshees killed every single probe. It looks like Tokon has tied up the score, and what a convincing victory, and what a misplay by Kingslayer, who was looking so strong in the first 2 games. and lost 2 games after 2 pretty bad misplays, pretty bad game decisions, especially not getting detection against the Terran after scouting the starport and the tech club unused. It sounds weird, but benches can be a drawback, but in this case, they can also just win you the game. And that's exactly what they did for Token. Worked fine in game number 1, worked wonders in game number 4. Now we get into game number 5. The score is tied, but Token has the momentum. He can get to match point with 3 wins in a row, or Kingslayer can break the momentum of his opponent and gain his own match point. We are the turning point of the series, probably the most important point of this series, and we'll see who's gonna get the victory on the next map. I'm also very curious to see what is gonna be the map. It's gonna be Nightshade. Huh. We're ready to get into game number 5. It's gonna be Nightshade, one of the new maps. And it's gonna be Kingslayer, of course, the meme master already. Killing 40 probes without game art is fun, right? Kingslayer answered, it's fun, yeah. And Token blamed his opponent about playing DTs, of course. Hey, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'll just say Jax. You can play in with the 5.6 MMR. You can play in Alpha X Apprentice. Oh gosh, in Alpha X Apprentice, it's an open tournament for everyone who's not in the main team of Alpha X. Like only the dragons cannot play in Apprentice, so you can play. It's just gonna be a Google Drive schedule where you can just add your name in it, and then you're gonna play in the tournament. It's just easy as that. Just gonna type your name, say your MMR, and then we're gonna add you into the brackets. So it's just easy as that. Glad you joined the team, by the way. In the top left-hand corner is the blue Protoss player hailing from Canada. He is Kingslayer. In the bottom right-hand corner instead is the red Terran player, proxying T-Rex very closely to the base of Kingslayer. A Nightshade. He is Token. Well. Then again, we talked about this build earlier as well, me and Token, and he also said this is not a big commitment. He's just probably gonna place the bunker over here, try to get a cancel on this Nexus, and then once he has a bunker full of Marines over here, he's just gonna move back to his base, get some scouting. He doesn't really want to commit too hardly into it. He will probably not even attempt to walk on top of this ramp. He just wants, well, getting a kill on the pylon, of course, it's a pretty big deal. And Kingslayer will have to get something. Kingslayer is a little bit behind in his build order. This time going for a Nexus first and Cybernetics Core second was probably the worst game to do it. To be a dragon, you not only have to be a very good player of MMR-wise, you have to accomplish something. You have to prove your worth, like in some way. You cannot just be a good player and maybe don't do good in tournaments. You have to do good in tournaments, really. Final Nexus gets cancelled. Kingslayer heavily supply block. There is just one Stalker over here. The shield battery will be up. It's gonna be very hard for Token to break into this. And 4 more Marines for Tokon. It's gonna be stopped producing them. It's gonna be going back home. The bunker is still gonna be very much annoying. Kingslayer placing 2 pylons to avoid being supply blocked for quite a while, but this Rex is gonna be scouting everything going on in the base of his opponent. Not that there is a lot of tech, it's just a lot of gateways. Warp gate almost done as well. And Tokon instead is gonna be advancing to his later tech stages. Gonna be having a Cyclone out for defense in a bit. Gonna be having his second command center in a natural. And what? Starport gets added as well. Wow, top 16 in CHEs? That's impressive. This Rex is going down after scouting for a lot of time. The Twilight Council will not get scouted by it though. So Kingslayer will have his first piece of tech out, will get this bunker killed, and will kill the Marines inside and the SCV. Poor guy. Finally, Kingslayer can expand to his natural. He's gonna be behind in workers for quite a bit because the command center of Tokon is gonna be done way quicker than his Nexus. Of course, mules play the biggest factor in Terran's economy. Anyway, Tokon will go for 1 Liberator to gain some more harassment damage. He decided to skip on a Cyclone after scouting with his Rex, and is instead going for a tank. Also a good defensive option, but also very much a good offensive option if Tokon decides to go once again for an SCV pool with Marines, Liberators and tanks. I'm not too sure what Kingslayer will have going on for him. He's adding a robot, he's getting Blink, but he's only just now getting this Nexus up. Long distance mining from it as well. Tokon already having a second orbital. And this Liberator is trying to get some damage as well. Will not get much, I think. Kingslayer will be prepared with Blink Stalkers, but not really. But he will warp in some Blink Stalkers. Also this pylon over here for scouting, very good positioning. The Nexus in the third base, also very good idea, good game decisions by Kingslayer. Deciding to expand a little bit more aggressively to gain back that worker lead he wants to have in this matchup. Liberator will not get in as scouted. Those Stalkers are not in the right spot, but we'll get there shortly after. 1 Stalker will go down, actually not even a single Stalker will go down. The Liberator will not deal any damage, and Tokon relying back again on his winning horse. Banshees worked out for him well enough. In game number 1, they just won him the game in map number 4, and he's looking to get some damage as well here in game 5. Immediate scout by Kingslayer, who knows there is already a Banshee out. He knows everything there is to know. And Kingslayer is also looking to blink into the main of Tokon, I think. Forge behind this as the third base goes up. Charge is on the way as well, with the Warp Prism joining soon after. With some Immortals maybe to get the good composition out. This 1 tank will go down, 1 blink gets used. Blink is on cooldown, will not be for long. This second tank is still trying to get in the spot he needs to be to face those Stalkers. But right now, the main concern of Kingslayer have to be the Banshees. Back home, no photon cannons. He doesn't even have an observer back home, really. He has 1 over here, I think he has 1 here, yes. But he needs them badly in position to face down those 2 Banshees, or this will be a disaster once again. Kingslayer adding a lot of gateways, adding Immortal. Charge is almost done. He wants to go for something aggressive, but here are gonna be a lot of death probes. Kingslayer trying to save the most of them. 6 already down. No recall yet. He's just trying to get the observer with these units. He's gonna recall now. He's gonna be recalling to the wrong Nexus though. Oh my god, more probes will go down. Stalker has been warped in the main, but there is no observer ready yet. The observer is getting in position, but already 16 probes have fell to the shots, to the missiles of those Banshees and 19 probes, this base completely shattered in economy. And Kingslayer suddenly finds himself 16 workers behind in tech with a very strong army, but not a lot to do with it. The defensive position of Tokon is almost unbreakable right now for him. He needs way more than what he has, but he knows he needs to make something happen. He has a lot of Nexi, he has 3 of them, so he can get his economy going, but he's making a Warp Prism now. He wants to move out, he wants to deal some damage, and he needs to do so badly. But Tokon doesn't look like he wants to stay back too long either. For Medivacs, they got a lot of energy. The Banshees are gonna join the fight as well. This Observer is gonna be scouting everything. And Tokon doesn't really see it this time. He's often very careful about Observer placement, about those shimmer. You have to see to catch the Observer. The scan misses badly, the tanks are unsieged, and they have to fight Stalkers and Zealots, so they will be unsieged for a lot longer. Medivacs trying to get some more aggressive footholds. Kingslayer having a full gateway army and still being very, very strong. A full gateway army and 1 immortal, of course. Yeah, Tokon is the furthest thing for a female you ever see in your life. 12 probes gone down to those 2 Banshees. Once again, Observer very much out of position. And yeah, the Observer is finally back. The Banshee will go down. But it's 28 workers to 57. Tokon's Banshee is very deadly today. Kingslayer's detection very off position today. This Observer over here didn't do anything the whole game. Not to speak about this one. But Kingslayer finally decides to move out, and his army is a nightmare for Tokon right now. Only 2 Liberators, a bunch of Widowmines. There is no tank with this. And Kingslayer may suddenly find a victory he's craving for so badly. Zealots trying to get on top of the Bio army. The Liberators are in siege to get a better positioning. Those Blink Stalkers will still have to get back. They cannot fight Bio straight on, but the Zealots can. Stalkers blink back to 1 more Warp Pin of Zealots. The Warp Prism is in danger. The army of Tokon has handled the storm. Kingslayer doesn't have splash damage. Kingslayer has only Stalkers. Doesn't really have the Zealots. But the Bio army is falling down blink after blink. Those Medivacs still full of energy. The Warp Prism will go down. The push of Kingslayer is shattered. His army is no more. His economy is non-existent. Tokon dwarfing in supply his opponent. Just close it, GG. Yeah, I was actually waiting for it. Like, there was no way Kingslayer could ever got back into this game. Tokon advances to match point in this best of 7 series. The conversation in the chat is going places, guys. Chill down. Oh, jeez. Anyway, Tokon, 3 victories in a row. And he's gonna play his match point on EU. So let's see if he manages to win this series here on his server, or if we're gonna have a game number 7 instead on NA. Not gonna lie, I would like to see a game number 7, but Eternal Empire, very, very good Protoss map. And we all know it. We talked about it, and overall, with a good Swarm Toss and Colossi army, there are a lot of ramps. Protoss players can abuse those ramps far easier than a Terran player. So let's see who's gonna be able to advance. Well, not to advance, we're in the grand finals, to gain the victory. Will Kingslayer get back into the series, gain his access to game number 7? Or will Tokon win the grand finals here? Damrud, you have to unmute me immediately. Let's see if he answers. Here we are, a match point for this guy in the bottom left hand corner. He's in red, he's Steren, he's from Poland. He is Tokon. In the top right hand corner instead, the blue Protoss from Canada. He is Kingslayer. Ah, Polish pizza. Yikes. Okay, those guys are not playing their wild card for this game. They want to do things right. Kingslayer doesn't want to lose here and now. Tokon wants to close it out in the cleanest way possible, relying on their winning horses. Let's see what they're gonna pull off here on Eternal Empire. Ramps for days in this map. Just look at them. So many places for a Protoss army to gain control. Also very good target map as well. Yeah, tell him. Why do you barcode? Huh? Kingslayer, stop. This is not right. Tokon looking to expand himself. Finally, he goes back into Reapers for scouting. After 2 times, Kingslayer did the weirdest possible things. He decided to go for a scout with the Reaper. Probably in the only game in which Kingslayer will try to go for something very normal. Kingslayer also looking for some proxies that he will never find. Same will do to... oh gosh. 2 SCVs out on the map. What is this? What are you doing? Oh my god. Oh no. Factory being proxied by Tokon. Over here the Reaper will try to keep the attention of Kingslayer away from what is an incredibly aggressive play. This is going to be a double factory proxied here next to the base of Kingslayer. The Reaper still trying to get something. Actually will get a probe. He will get 2 probes. After getting so much attention from Kingslayer, he will also kill 2 probes. Very worth for Tokon going back into Reapers. And right now, I'm not even sure what he's going to do. Is it going to be tanks? I think so. Tanks and Marines. Maybe bunkers. And Kingslayer will have to be very careful about this. He went for a Twilight Council opener with Blink. But overall, Tokon mixing things up at his match point here on EU. Adding tanks, proxied to his push. Not producing a lot of... well, he is producing 2 SCVs at once. He has mules for his purposes. Finally, a robot gets added by Kingslayer, going back into what is supposed to be the standard play. And the standard play is supposed to be safe. But will Blink be done in time before those 2 tanks show up? It's gonna be good vision coming from Kingslayer. He will see those 5 Marines heading out. He will be a little bit preoccupied about what's happening. This probably here not gonna be seeing anything, but he sees where the Marines are going. He must be feeling this. Let's see. He finds out. The feat is over. Tanks trying to siege up in the perfect spot. Those stalkers over here are gonna be having some pot shots at the Marines. Try to avoid the bunker from going up. But the siege tanks are out. The 3rd one is out. Those stalkers don't have blink yet. They cannot commit into the defense. This bunker will go up for Tokon. And now it is a mess for Kingslayer, who has to avoid these tanks from leapfrogging forward and forward and forward. Blink is done. 2 more pylons getting added by Kingslayer. He wants to make more and more units. Bunkers leapfrog as well. Marines are streaming through the map. Tanks are screaming through the factories. And right now Tokon is shooting at the Nexus. The economy is the winning factor for Kingslayer right here. He needs to follow, fully commit into this defense with these Blink Stalkers getting almost all of the tanks. Only one stays alive right now though. Tokon can go forward and there is not much more going on. He doesn't have enough gateways to bring up the Stalker production to what he had before. He's gonna be making 3 at once, still gonna be able to fight those Marines head on, but not fight the bunkers and the tanks. He needs to keep his Stalkers alive for as much as possible to build up their numbers and then go for another big Blink commitment to try and break the contain of Tokon. The game is not over. Kingslayer still has an economy lead, still has a good production helping him into the main. Gonna be adding more and more Stalkers, still mining from this, but once this base is done, Tokon will gain an immense advantage. Those probes are trying to find a spot in which they can hide. Pylons down would supply block Kingslayer pretty badly, but Tokon is looking to end the game as quick as possible. He also wanted to add a bunker in the main base of his opponent, who will not find one yet. But the tanks are sieging in a perfect spot. This bunker will probably go up. The Stalkers are in range to kill the SCV, but right now Kingslayer, also supply blocked, is trying to get an access over here. Sneaky one, of course, to maybe recall his probes, to try and buy himself some more time to add up the numbers to his Stalkers, but is not looking to find the damage he needs. Gateways under attack for Kingslayer. More and more tanks being leapfrogged forward. Another bunker, this time in the main base of Kingslayer, who's adding zealots to may try and get the kill on the Marines. Will not find any. Tokon adding one more bunker in the main base of Kingslayer, and the blue Protoss looking extremely deluded right now. No more Stalker production. Zealots and Stalkers will try to end the deal over here, but there is too many tanks. Everything is going down. Kingslayer is done for. GG. We have our champion, everybody. Tokon is Season 2 champion of Alpha X Apprentice. After reaching the finals in Season 1 and losing to a Protoss player he lost once into the group. It looked like a prophecy, right? He lost to Kingslayer in the group stages. He got into the finals again, but this time he was able to gain the victory he needed on top of his opponent, and this was a great grand finals. Tokon finding himself 2-0 down after the first 2 games, able to win 4 games in a row and defeat his opponent with a reverse sweep after losing the first 2 matches. And guys, great series, great finals, great games, 2 great players, but we can only have 1 champion. We have our podium ready, guys. It's gonna be first place for the Polish Tokon, second place for the Canadian Kingslayer, and third place for the French Arrowfire. So, want to thank everybody for watching, guys. This has been an amazing tournament. We still have some matches from Code A to be seen. There is this one guy in the chat, this annoying Polish guy named Damrut, who's gonna play in the finals for Code A in about a week. And who am I going to host right now? I'll just ask the boss real quick. But guys, if you want to see more action, you can tune in more into this stream. You're gonna see more of Alpha X Apprentice in about a week. You're gonna see the season number 3 in probably a month or so. So we're gonna be keeping up the tournaments. We're gonna keep up everything going on for Alpha X. It has been an amazing 2019. I want to thank the team for letting me do this much stuff. Here, one day before 2020. Thank you everybody for watching, and guys, I'll see you in the next stream. Thank you everybody. Wait a moment. Thank you for tuning in, guys.